Well, let's bring into this conversation Jonathan Davis, economist and wealth advisor from Hertfordshire. Jonathan, good afternoon to you.
Hello, Roberto, from Switzerland.
Well, you got to stash some money?
If only.
Well, bring some back for me. Welcome to the programme, Jonathan. Do you think we should somehow follow New Zealand's model?
Talk about bolting the door after the horses bolted years ago. There's no question the prices of houses in New Zealand are unbelievable, as they are in many places in the UK, particularly, of course, in the southeast, where you are and where I normally am. But to do this policy now, it would be so immaterial, it would hardly have an effect. If the politicians were really serious about sorting out prices and sorting out the housing crisis, this is not the thing that they'd be doing, and I'm not even sure if it'll achieve the objectives that everyone says that it will.
Why not, Jonathan? I mean, when you drive in or fly into London, for example, all you see is cranes along the skyline building these exclusive towers. I'm thinking, who the hell is buying that?
Well, actually, there are not many people buying them, as it happens. It's estimated in London there are some 40,000 £1 million plus homes for sale, which is interesting because even in the highest sales volume years in London, they were selling about 5,000 a year. So that suggests they've got about 8 or 9 years stock. So
hang on, Jonathan, that might be the case, but what tends to have happened in some cases is foreign investors have come in, they've just simply snapped up these properties, and they'll just sit on them.
Yes, they definitely did that after the financial crisis, when the pound devalued by 20 or 30%. Therefore, if you were a foreigner in Swiss francs, in Russian rubles, in American dollars, and so on, then you were getting, not only because London house prices fell anyway 20-25%, but if you were a foreigner, you got another, as I say, 20 or 30% reduction because you were buying in a materially stronger currency. So actually, you were paying effectively 50 pence in the pound when you bought as a foreigner in 2009, 10, 11, and so on. However, we haven't had a currency crash since then. Our currency is hardly strong, but we haven't had a sudden shock. And of course, house prices have only risen. They haven't fallen since about 2012, 2013. So we won't be getting foreigners buying. We aren't getting them. And to say we should stop foreigners buying, well, as I say, they aren't doing so anyway. This is not the solution to the problem that the politicians themselves created over 25 years of intervention in the housing market. What they should be doing is getting the heck out of the housing market, and the first thing they should do is stop the iniquitous Help to Buy scheme, which was never Help to Buy, but it was always Help to Sell and Help to keep prices high.
Okay, you're looking at this from a different perspective than I, certainly. I mean, that's fine. That's what the whole point of the conversation. So this idea from the New Zealanders would have no impact for us here, although it might prove rather popular. I mean, the idea of British homes for British taxpayers.
Well, of course, that has been the rally call of politicians over the ages. Gordon Brown, 20 years ago, said British jobs for British workers. Well, the problem is, when a government intervenes, they generally mess it up. As a free market capitalist, I believe through lots and lots of evidence throughout history and throughout geography that if you let markets just do what they're going to do, then that is what helps the people Whereas if you intervene in markets, unfortunately, that's what helps the politicians to get re-elected. That's why politicians tend to do things. So as I say, instead of intervening and banning, what we should be doing is coming away from intervention, take away Help to Buy, which is still there. It's helping developers' profits. It's helping to keep new properties high in price. Take away Help to Buy, and I tell you, new property prices would fall, and that would permeate throughout the whole sector, and that is what would start to help bring prices back to where they ought to be, although it would be a long, slow process, but it would help the under 45s, whereas all this intervention for 25 years has helped developers, estate agents, banks, mortgage brokers, owners, investors, and we continually say, isn't it difficult for the young folk? Well, it's still difficult. We need to help them by coming away, not intervening more and more.
Jonathan, thank you. On your way back, when you come back from Switzerland, just some money or some chocolate if need be, whatever.
Oh, absolutely. Some triangular chocolate is on its way.
Thank you, Jonathan. Jonathan Davis, wealth manager and financial expert from Hertfordshire.